Welcome back to 5 Miles Easy with me, Rose Harvey.
And me, Steph McCall.
This week we have a very fabulous episode. This week we are swapping out our running shoes for stilettos as we're joined by Kitty Scott Claus. Kitty's best known for RuPaul's Drag Race, and she just, what a persona. Absolutely fabulous.
What a persona. We've never had a guest like Kitty on the podcast, so I was very, very excited for it. Fabulous is the right word.
She did not turn up in drag, which is sad for the pod, but she will be running London Marathon in drag, which will be a real sight. That would be awesome.
I am really excited to see that, and we do chat a bit about that in the episode, just what prep goes into that, because obviously Kitty's going to have to practice wearing the right outfit, because you don't want to do it the first time on the day, and the wig, that's a big one.
Oh yes, that's again, if that's a hot day, that's going to be not great.
And the makeup.
Yes. Okay, you need to make sure
sweat.
That doesn't run. You're going to need some really good setting spray.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited to see the outfit. I think it's just going to be so much fun. But you know what? There's so much to Kitty, and for example, balancing training for a marathon and being a drag queen. Drag queens are generally performing into the early hours, yeah. And then how do you then get the right amount of sleep to then you're going to do your long run the next day or whatever? A really interesting balance. But Kitty seems to be absolutely loving it.
Oh, and it's so good to hear, because she's only started running relatively recently, about a year ago. Yeah. And it's amazing how she just now absolutely loves it. Her enthusiasm is so infectious.
So infectious. I think, it's just amazing what a life transformation it's actually been, in that Kitty's very open that she used to drink a lot, and then just, and then it's a vicious circle, because you drink and then you're hungover and you don't really want to do anything the next day. Yeah. But now doesn't drink at all. That's just what she prefers to do. And then just wakes up full of energy, wanting to go for a run. It's just a complete U-turn on the previous lifestyle. But I think it's great.
So
100%.
But I'm so excited to get into this episode and hear about, Kitty's just life as a drag queen. It's so fascinating, but also how that is going to play out on London Marathon Day. I was going to say I'm going to be looking out for her, but I don't think I'll be able to miss her.
Yes, you won't be able to miss her. And something else you need to look out for, actually, that I almost forgot to say, was Rainbow Row. So mile 21 is a 250 metre section of the course called Rainbow Row. So Jeremy Joseph, the owner of GAY and Heaven nightclubs, I think was the main person that kind of got this going for the LGBTQ plus community. So it's just a very colourful party on the street, and amazing. I don't think you're going to be able to miss that. So remember at 21 miles, you're going to be starting to feel a little bit tired, I'm sure, and that'll be a boost.
Okay, that's going to power me through the last 5.2. Cannot wait to look out that.
I need to, I'll go and check it out whilst I'm watching.
Great. Should we get Kitty on the show?
Let's do it.
Kitty, thank you so much for joining us for 5 Miles Easy. I, for one, have been so excited to have you on. Our first drag queen on the podcast. I think it's going to be such a fun episode. Yeah. So, let's get into it. Our first question that we ask all our guests is, what is your why when it comes to running?
Why not? Yeah. No, do you know what? I never saw myself as a runner. And I know, for years, I was I could never do that. I did Couch to 5K in lockdown, and that was my first real, taste of running, and I was so bad at it. I literally, do you know when, Sarah Millican's talking to you in your ear going, you're doing so well, pet? I remember just being but I'm not. This is so passive-aggressive. It's not helping me at all. And, I got to the end of, doing Couch to 5K, and I was I still can't run a 5K in half an hour. This is horrific. So I was just well, not for me. I'm not a runner. And then last year I was on Rainbow Row. I was at the London Marathon cheering people on, and it's just the most fun. I love doing that. It was always my favourite gig. And Jeremy Joseph Joseph, who runs GAY and he runs Rainbow Row, was like, I'm going to pick you to do the marathon with me next year. And I was like, why not? Okay, sure. And I didn't really give like too much thought about it. I wasn't like, oh, can I do this? Like, I was just like, sure, okay, like, I'll have a challenge.
Yeah.
Didn't really give like any thought to it like that much. And then I was just like, oh God, I have to run the marathon. Oh God, this is wild.
So was there a point where you then started liking running? Because you said, you know, at first when you did
Yeah.
5K, you clearly
Hated it.
you were not enjoying it. Did Jeremy give you the challenge before you liked running, or were you already starting to enjoy it? Or...
So I'd been on like a fitness journey.
Okay.
I started going on like a fitness journey June 2023. So I'd lost a bit of weight and I was like, I'm loving exercise now. Okay, like I like real like positive mindset. I was like, I can do anything I put my mind to. And Jeremy made it really easy for me to start. He was like, you've got to run 1 mile. And I remember thinking like, that's impossible. I can't run a mile. Oh my God, like I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to walk a bit. And like, he was like, we just go like very slowly. We want to like build you up slowly. And like, I think because it started off so simple and I've always trained with someone, I've always been with Jeremy or like my friend or like, you know, I've always had someone with me that it's like when we've been running, I've always had like someone to talk to. So I'm very simple minded. I get distracted. And like, if I'm chatting away, it'll be like, we've done a mile. I'm like, oh,
Great.
stunning.
Yeah.
That was not actually that hard. And like, I think like there came a point where it was like, okay, you've got to do a 3 mile run by yourself on a Friday. And it was like, okay. And at first I remember thinking like, oh, it's such a chore, like waking up and doing a run. And like now it's literally the highlight of my week. Like it's so sad, but like not sad at all because I love it. Like, oh my God, like 3 miles. I'm like, oh, can't it be longer?
Yeah. So it's like the rewarding feeling now that
Yeah.
you feel it's like such a sense of achievement.
It
ticking
really
those runs
is.
off.
And it's like those endorphins you get from running. I never felt them before and now I get them and I'm like, oh my God. And also it's like, I think it's so good for your mental health and so
Yeah.
good for like, you can be having like the worst day and it's like just putting your music on and just running and just like letting it out. And like, it could be raining, but in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm in like a Hilary Duff music video. Like, this is iconic. Like, it's like, oh my God, no matter the weather, there's no excuse, just go. And like, I promise you'll feel so good for it.
Yeah, the why not? Like, I
Exactly.
love that. No one's ever said that before as an
Have they
answer.
not? I was going to say, I bet like that
Beautiful.
everyone says that.
No, why not? It's so true. It's so cool. Like just appreciating what you can do no matter what, like you say, what the weather is, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you get to do it. It's so cool. How do you balance running and clearly do it? You're training for London, so it's a demanding training schedule.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with your profession of being a drag performer?
Drag queen. Oh my God. Do you know what? It's sort of like fine balance wise because it's like I do my runs in the morning or like whatever. Like I'll try and fit it in at like the start of the day. And then like my work normally is like afternoon, evening, like late at night.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fine. It's like working out like if I know like, okay, I'm working this day and I'm shooting from this time till this time. It's like, if I wake up 2 hours before, I can do a run. And it's like become like getting that mindset of like, okay, I know that like I'll feel so much better going into like a day of like being in drag and like not being able to move as much because you're so restricted with like the corset and the heels and everything. It's like, but I know if I've got my steps in for the day, I've gone a run, I'll feel so good about it. And it's like that smugness you get from it, like, oh my God.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
best
And we were
feeling.
talking about that earlier, like the smug feeling you get of having got your run in before anything
Yeah.
else. So true.
You just get to go around like, oh guys, have you just woken up? Like, oh, I've done a run today.
My calf's a bit sore. Oh, that'll be because I did it.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
What did you do?
What did you? I did. Oh my God, this is like my biggest brag. Was I went to Australia end of last year to do a tour and literally took off on the Monday, landed on the Wednesday, and Wednesdays are like my long run days. And so Jeremy was like, if you go over there and like just do like 3 mile runs, like whilst you're over there, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I was in my head, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do like I'm gonna stick to my running schedule. And literally, so landed on the Wednesday morning, got to the hotel within 20 minutes. I was out doing a half marathon, and I was literally like, I've not slept for like 2 days, and here we are. And I did it, and I remember literally just being like, wow, I did that.
But do you know, I actually think, first of all, I think it's one of the best ways to combat jet
to
lag.
beat jet lag, yeah,
One of the best
100%.
ways. And it also, you know, when you get off a plane and you get to a place and you're not completely familiar with it, you just really don't feel yourself and you sort of don't feel grounded and you're like nothing. You don't want to go lie by a pool because you're like, I just feel sort of weird.
Yeah.
And I don't really know who I am. But if you go for a run, it's really, really grounding.
So grounding.
And it's, I call it run seeing. You can go and you can
Yeah.
get your bearings and you can take in a city really, really
Yeah.
quickly and just sort of work out where you are. Good
Yeah.
move.
So
move.
good. I would definitely recommend.
Yeah.
And like coming back to London, like after the tour, I remember I was going like straight from that tour into like panto rehearsals, and it was like, oh my God, I've got to do, I think it was like, again, like a 13-mile run or something. And it was like, okay, so I start rehearsals at 10. So it means I need to like be like waking up at like 8 o'clock. But if I wake up at 6, then I can go and do my like 13 miles. And then I can like, and I remember literally, it was like, I'd like literally just got back into the UK, and it was like the next day I was like, I'm going to wake up at 6 and do a half marathon.
Were you a bit like, who dis?
Yeah,
like,
literally like, new phone, who dis? Who's this? What's happened to me? Oh my God. Before I'd be like, I love a lion. And now I'm like, I want to wake up at the crack of dawn and go and do a half marathon.
Yeah, that's so funny. And also, when you were mentioning wearing heels as well, I was thinking, do your calves get sore? Because I find now, like, I hardly ever wear heels now, but like when I do it, I can't walk because the amount
do
of
you
running.
know what? Like, it's not the calves that get sore. I think, like, if anything, my feet get sore.
Okay.
And like, I could do like a long run or whatever, and like, it's like never anywhere like up the legs or anything. It's always just like, oh, my feet are sore.
Really?
And it's that's the same as like heels.
Yeah.
Like if I've like had my heels on for so long, I'll be like, oh, I just want to take my heels off. Like, do you know when you can feel your toes like crunching up and you're like, oh, get these off me, get these off me, get these off me. Like, it's like that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so interesting. And I'm so fascinated, like separately to running. How did you become a drag queen? Like, what made you want to be one?
Because I'm a huge attention seeker.
Okay. Great.
No, so I was a musical theatre actor.
Yeah.
And my best friend is a drag queen. And I remember going and watching her and being like, I could do that. Like, I see what she's doing. Like, I would be amazing at this. And like, do you know when you have like in the back of your head, like, if the opportunity ever arises, this would be my drag name. This is what I'd be like. La, 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 la. And then they were doing a Girls Aloud night at this bar in Camden, which is no longer there. But they were like, and we need a Kimberly Walsh. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. 100%. Literally, I was like, they were like, oh, are you sure? I was like, I've got the wig. I'm ready to go. Like, literally. And then it was like a snowballing effect. It was literally just like one gig after the other. And then it was just like, oh God, I guess I'm a drag queen now.
Wow.
Like, so really just like fell into it.
How old were you?
25 when I started doing drag.
Okay, so
yeah.
Is that, I was going to say slightly later on, but it's
Yeah,
not,
it is, because you
like-
get kids that are doing it now. Like,
Oh,
oh my
really?
God. When I went into Drag Race, and like Crystal, who won my season of Drag Race UK, she was 19. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
At 19, I could not.
Really young.
Oh my God.
So how old were you when you did Drag Race?
29, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was 28 when I got on, and then when we started filming, I was 29.
And it's just been
Yeah,
forever.
crazy.
So amazing.
Do you think you can like link that feeling to why you're wanting to do the London Marathon as well? Because it's like you wanted to get on stage, perform,
Yeah.
and then it's a similar, like, it's obviously not the same, but it's kind of, I feel like it can be linked. That
Yeah,
you're like,
definitely.
I've been given this opportunity to do a difficult challenge, and I just want to like go out there and show
Yeah.
people what I can do.
I think as well, it's like always wanting to be like the best version of yourself. And it's
Okay,
like,
yeah.
okay, like my goal was like to get on Drag Race and like show what I can do. And like, and now that the opportunity arose to do the marathon, it was like, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Like
Yeah.
when we started training, Jeremy, who trains me, was like, we're going to fail runs. You need to be prepared for this. Like, there'll be runs that you fail. And we haven't touched wood. We have not failed a single run so far.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
just like, every time I'm like, my like positive mental attitude, I'm like, we are getting through this. Like,
Yeah.
we could be having the worst day. We were doing a run in also, this is what no one tells you about training for the London Marathon. You have to do all the horrible runs in January when the weather is
I know.
awful.
I know.
I know.
We were doing a run, and literally like it was like spitting with rain at first, and we were like, okay, it's fine, it's just spitting. We got like 8 miles in, and all of a sudden it was like, I've never seen rain like it. And honestly, it was like, what
It's the
is
mental
this?
toughness. Though,
Yeah.
isn't
It
it?
is meant- But I actually heard someone the other day, they did Would You Rather. It said, would you rather run a marathon in sort of April time, or would you rather run a marathon sort of October time? And actually, I think April is probably better, because if you're training through summer, as sort of beautiful and idyllic and lovely and sort of easy with the daylight hours as it might be, running in the heat is utterly brutal. It is so
Especially for us
tough.
Brits.
Yeah.
We're not used to
We're
it.
just not, we're not cut out for it.
No.
So I actually think doing a marathon in April is probably the ideal time to do it. And actually, there is something to be said for running in the rain. I really like running
Oh,
in the rain.
totally.
It goes back to what you said about pretending you're in a music
Literally.
video. It's just the drama of it.
It's
you
like,
know?
oh my God, God. And like people are like running, like they've got umbrellas and you're just there like, oh my God, there's no point stopping. We're like 8 miles in. I'm not stopping now.
I listen to Celine Dion if it's really raining.
Oh my
When I
God, no,
run.
she's always on my like running playlist. If
Yeah.
ever I'm like, when I'm not running with Jeremy or running with like a friend or anything, I have like my music and like it's always Celine Dion or like Britney Spears. Like, oh my God, those like,
Oh, I love that.
Divas.
yeah, the divas, they get me through.
Yeah.
What would you find more daunting, running a marathon or doing a big drag show?
Oh my God, running a marathon.
Do you think?
100%.
Oh, gosh.
It's like whenever like I did Celebrity MasterChef and I remember thinking like, this is so much harder than doing like Drag Race. Like Drag Race is so hard, but it's like, that's what I know.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know like drag and I know how to perform. And then
Yeah.
it's like adding another skill on top of that it's like, oh, I don't know how to cook. I don't know what this is. I don't know. So it's like things like that where it's like, and like with the drag stuff, it's like you can control it to a certain degree. You can control like what you're going to say, what you're going to weigh, what you're going to look like, what numbers you're going to do, like all of that. Whereas like if it's like doing a marathon, it's like, oh my God, you do all the training and then you go out there and you've just got to like hope and pray. You know?
That's it. There are so many things you can't
Yeah.
control, and you have to just focus on what you can control and
Exactly.
accept there are things that could
Yeah.
go wrong, but like just let them happen.
And just letting it happen and going with it.
Yeah. Oh, is there part of the marathon that you're looking forward to the most? I feel like I know what you're going to say here.
Oh, there's so many bits of it. I mean, when we've been doing our training runs, Jeremy's like, this part is going to be amazing because it's going to be just like full of people. So he said like Tower Bridge. He said Tower Bridge is like a really big one. And then coming up, is it Pall Mall?
Yeah.
With, like towards the end.
Yeah, sort of embankment along.
Yes, along embankment.
Yeah.
And then like going, like finishing. He was like, this is just like.
Yeah, past
the most-
Buckingham Palace, then finishing
That's
on
it.
the Mall.
On the
Yeah.
Mall. He said like that
Although
is.
I actually had a really bad. So I've just had a memory. I've had a recovered memory that I actually blocked from my mind. So coming down the Mall, you're completely right, by the way. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. You've got people on either side of you cheering for you. As I crossed the finish line last year, the song that was playing was Baby Shark.
Oh no.
Be fuming.
So I run down embankment. I also
Your one moment.
My one moment where I had the moment I'm crossing the finish line. Oh my goodness, I had tears streaming down my face, and then all of a sudden I start hearing like, I was like,
Oh, I'd be like, I'm going to run another mile. I'm going to wait until we get a better song coming on.
that's why I'm doing it
Do
again
you know
this
what
year.
else I've got to say about like running races and stuff like that? In my head, like when it's like, right, the race is gonna start. In my head, it's like someone's there with like a black and white checkered flag going like waving you off
Like a
and
car race.
like a car race, like a drag race. And like whenever I've done races before, it's like, okay, go. I'm like, what? Like we just start.
Yeah,
it's
you're
so
like-
underwhelming. I'm like, okay.
It always is, because you're kind of like, I guess.
Yeah, and because there's so
we're-
many people around you, it's like you walk and then it's like you like go into a jog, and then that first mile for me is always just like the worst because you're just like, oh my God, like dodging people and trying to find your place and
You
your pace.
really need
and
to like remind yourself to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, deep breaths. Like
that's when
me-
I get excited because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fun, like woo, and then you're just
Yeah.
like, no, calm down.
Yeah, you've got the excitement, you've got the nerves. You really need to just like, you've got
Yeah.
26 miles to run.
Literally.
Like, you don't want to use all
Remember.
your energy in the first mile. You've done a few half marathons. in the
Yeah.
build-up. You did some last year, and you mentioned.
Some last year, and I did Royal Parks, the big half. That was my first one. We did the London 10K, and then we've done the Queen Elizabeth half the other week, and then we've got the Landmark half coming up as well.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
you're well prepared in like,
Yeah.
racing. What have you learnt from those races that you can take into your marathon training?
I think it is like learning to pace yourself. I'm
Okay.
like one of those people where it's like if the crowd is like cheering you on, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna run even faster. And it's like, no, okay, we've got miles to come, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like learning to like, okay, like hold it back, and like learning, like running with someone and being a good running partner. I think is like something I've had to learn as well, because I'd be like, oh, I feel fine, I feel great, and it's like, well, if my partner doesn't, then. You know, we're running this as a team. We're running this as a partnership, and it's like all well and good, like me feeling great. But if he's not, then I'm gonna slow down and like go with you, you know. And so that took a lot to get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. That's like why we have to do these training races as well, where
Yeah.
they're not like the A goal, but
No.
kind of practicing how you're going to feel on the day.
Yeah, and that's what when we were talking about doing the Landmark half in a couple of weeks, it was
Yeah.
like we don't care about time. We just
No.
want to do it and like do it as a practice for London Marathon. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
gonna come around so so quick. Like,
Oh,
oh
it
my
always
God.
does. Yeah, you think you've got weeks, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you're just like, no, it's like
Here we are. Oh my God.
yeah, like it's not enough time. Yeah, always feels that way. What does your training look like? How often are you running each week? So
I do-
Jeremy's coaching you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So we do a long run on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So this week we did 20 miles, my first 20-mile
That's
run.
so incredible.
So good.
And it went really well?
Loved it. I had, and because it was like the first like really sunny day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Also, I feel the cold so much that like even though it was like so sunny, I still had like long sleeves. I had gloves on. I had like shorts, leggings, like I was like all the layers. I'm like still freezing cold. But oh my God, just so nice to run in the sun and not be like, oh, it's gonna rain in a bit, like whatever. So we do long runs on Wednesdays, and then we do 3 miles on Fridays, and then we do like a 6-mile on Sundays, but we normally do like 7, 8, you know, depending how we feel. And then if I'm feeling fruity, I'll do like an extra like 3 miles on Monday.
Love it. Just
Yeah,
a bit of a
but I'm so
bonus.
hooked on it. I'm literally like, all my friends are like, can we talk about something else? And I'm like, no, but I love it.
Yeah, that's why you've got to come on a running podcast.
Exactly. This is
Let
my
it all out.
outlet.
Yeah.
This is my outlet. I'm literally like, oh my God, I get to talk about running. It's my favourite thing.
And then back on the topic of Jeremy, and you mentioned Rainbow Row earlier as well. Can we just talk a bit about that? Because I actually, like, I am ashamed to admit, I really didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
And now that I do know about it this year, because I'm going to be watching and cheering everyone on.
Oh my
I'm going to
God.
be positioning myself. Is it mile 21?
Mile 21, yeah.
I'm going to be there. Can you just tell us a bit about what Rainbow Row is?
Rainbow Row is the LGBTQIA plus mile, and it was honestly the most fun. Like being there as a spectator, I honestly, like in my head, I was like, this is up there with like London Pride. Like it's so much fun, and like the energy there is so good. It's so accepting. It's so just like so positive, and like, oh my God, it like warms your heart. I come away from it every year like crying, being like, this is just incredible. And you have like drag queens, drag kings, like drag performers, like cheering you on. There's buses, there's music playing. Like it really is just like, it's like a party. It really is. And like you see like all these amazing people running, and you're just like, oh my God,
That's so fun.
incredible.
I'm so excited to
Yeah.
see it. Do you remember it from when you ran London last year?
I did, and I do remember it, but I didn't realise at the time what was happening.
Yeah, of course
I just
you wouldn't.
suddenly found myself.
You see rainbow flags, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We're in
what is
J.K.
this?
Rowling's nightmare.
Preach.
Spot on. I just suddenly was like, what this app? Like, it was suddenly like someone had turned a light on. It was
Yeah.
like, I mean, the energy throughout London is amazing. There are definitely some dips. There are some moments where it goes quieter, and they were unexpected. So if you're running London, prepare yourself for the fact that it's not always amazing.
The one I've been told of is when you go, before you come up to Embankment, that
The
the
dip,
little
yeah.
tunnel.
Tunnel. Oh my goodness.
Is that horrible? Everyone's like, that's
I
vile,
think
because
that's
it's like,
where
there's
a
no,
lot,
because
a
there's
lot
no,
of
you've
people
no
like
crowd.
they go for a wee or they shit themselves in that
Yeah.
tunnel because it's like no one can see you.
Do you know, my first half marathon was the big half, and so that started at Tower Bridge, and then we went for like the first mile, and then the second mile was like going down through that massive tunnel towards like East London
Yeah.
and the city. That tunnel, it was like maybe start of September last year. Oh
So
my
hot.
God, so hot. And I remember like running through it and just being like seeing people fainting, and like there was this guy in front of me, and it literally looked like, I was like, oh my God, it looks like he's been hit by a car. Like he went like boom to the side, and he like dropped to the floor. I was like, what is going on? Like it was like a
Mile
ghost had like
2
pushed
as well.
him. I was like, what is going on? And like there were like St John's ambulance in there. I was like, what is happening? But it was so hot.
Yeah.
And people like were like, oh my God, so dehydrated.
I've done big half before, and I do remember that thinking it's so humid. Like,
So humid.
Yeah, I don't think in London Marathon you feel that though.
No.
I've never felt like it's hot in any of the
No,
tunnels.
it was pretty toasty last year, but that was the hottest April London Marathon on record, and it was actually really fine.
Yeah.
It was really fine. But the other thing is, because there are so many people around most of the time, you don't want to stop. You can stop. Obviously you can stop. I mean, walking a marathon if you want to, that's absolutely fine. In fact, I encourage it.
Yeah.
However, because there are so many people who are looking at you and they're cheering for you, you just want to keep going, and you kind of show off a little bit. I mean, even those who aren't show-offish find that they're showing off a bit because everyone's there for you. And so when you get to the tunnel and there's no one in there, all of a sudden everyone is like, oh gosh,
You can breathe out. You're like,
I can go back to my alien form and just like not think about all these people that are looking at me. So that is the thing with the tunnel. But when you come come out of the tunnel, you're then pretty much on embankment.
Yeah, you are.
And the atmosphere, I actually think the atmosphere on embankment was better than the atmosphere on Tower Bridge.
Wow.
Because you get all of the run clubs on embankment, and they're there with confetti cannons, and everybody at that point knows that they're near the end, and so everybody really starts getting excited. There are people at that point who are walking and they're really hyping up the crowd. So I actually think embankment is one of the most underrated parts of it. But Rainbow Row, as I said, it was like a light had come on as I ran through there. And I was like, what is this place? This is amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really well positioned, because I think mile 21 is such a tough one, because I think, people say the marathon starts like after 20 miles.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of get there and then you're like, oh my God, I've got like over 6 miles to go and I'm not feeling good now. So like that's really good energy boost, just to like start you on that last bit of the journey.
Totally.
But it is so exciting. And I think, as you'd mentioned, like giving the crowd energy.
Totally.
They're going to give it back to you. And I remember, like people held the signs. It's like, press this
for a power boost. I love it.
I love doing it.
Oh my God. No, 100%.
So cute.
And also what I find, like when we like run them, I'm like, I love reading all the signs.
Yeah.
Like it could like be like, go Samantha, go. And I'd be like, you go Samantha. Wherever you are. Like smash it. I hope you're doing really well. Yeah. Like, oh my God, just the energy is so like, it's so infectious.
Yeah.
It's so
Are you going to have your name on you?
Absolutely. Well, Jeremy was like, we don't want our names on us. We don't, because we want people to cheer us for us. We want them to see us and go, that's Jeremy and Kitty.
Yeah.
There they are. I'm going to cheer them on. I'm like, no, I'm too much of an attention seeker. I'm going to be like, my name will be rhinestoned onto me. It'll be like, oh my God, so proud of place, like I'll be there like, running around like, come on, say it.
So what are you going to be wearing? Let's talk
Well,
about this.
so we're going in drag, of course.
Okay, brilliant.
But then it's like working out like, okay, how do we do it in drag without like compromising like
Performance.
Sure.
Like I don't want to like, so the way we're doing it is like, it's going to be like similar to what I run in normally. So I run in like shorts and like a little top, but I'm going to like rhinestone. And it's like working out like, okay, where can we put a rhinestone that isn't going to rub, or it's not going to catch, or it's not going to like, and it's like, okay, we need to do training runs in it, and we need to do, and like with the wig and stuff like that. And so
I was gonna say, you have to like practice in it, won't you? Because you don't want the day of suddenly like, none of this feels nice.
And also it's like, I've had friends that have run it in drag before, and they've done like hip pads and tights and everything. And I'm like, too much.
Yeah, what if it's a really hot day?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with the wig?
Oh my God. Well, my theory with the wig is because everyone's like, get a wig that's really out your face.
Yeah.
And I always run in a cap. So I'm thinking, if I do like a cap and sew the wig onto the back, then it's going to be out my face, and it's going to be like I'm used to running with a cap. But then I'll also be able to like take it off for a second, be like, get some air,
Will it be like ponytail hair?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I didn't realise you're actually going to be running with Jeremy. So is your plan to like run side by side?
Side by side.
What if one of you doesn't feel good? What if he feels terrible and you feel great? Are you going to?
I will wait with him.
Okay.
I will. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh my God, he's done so much.
Yeah.
For me. I wouldn't be here without Jeremy. Like I would not have got to this place. I'd still be on like Couch to 5K, being annoyed at passive aggressive Sarah Millican to eat a banana.
For sure. Yeah, that's so nice. And so you'll cross the finish line like hand in hand.
Exactly.
With your little sprint finish.
Oh my God, that's my favourite part. Every time of the race, it's like when you can see the finish line and it's like, oh my God, I've got no energy left. And it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna like put everything into like this last sprint. I remember it was the big half. We were following, there was this lady and she was amazing, and we were following her for like the last 5 miles, and we were so like, she was maybe like 10 meters in front of us, and she was wearing like a real like not a high vis, but she was wearing like a neon outfit. And I remember thinking like, for the last like 100 meters, I was like, I've got to beat her. I can't have run behind her for like 5 miles and not beat her. And I remember like pushing so hard just to try and like, oh my God, and we did, and I was just like, oh, that was worth it. That was so worth it.
That makes me think of the Tommy Fury video.
Oh my God. Insane. That was me. The last. I don't even think he was near the end.
For those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, Tommy Fury, the boxer and Love Island star, was recently running kind of a local 10K, and he's obviously this huge guy. I don't know if he's a heavyweight, but he's really tall, really, really muscular. And then he posted this video of himself running so fast in the like final 100-meter stretch, just like pushing people out of the way, like bombing past grandmas who were about to cross the finish line. And he didn't mean for it to be funny, but it just just went viral. It was
so
funny.
funny.
It is so hilarious. And it's like, maybe you could have run a little bit faster earlier on if
Yeah.
you got that in you, right?
You got that right at the end.
That's so
So,
good.
so
I'm
funny.
hoping you replicate something similar.
Oh, I will. I'll be like, get the camera on. Turn the camera on. I'll Tommy Fury it.
Yeah.
It's just the face as well. He's there like,
Yeah.
So
funny.
determined.
So determined.
Oh my
That'll be
gosh.
me.
I love it. Have you thought about after London Marathon, like, where's your running going to go next?
Do you know what? I'm literally like, what do I do now? Like, where do we go from here? I'm
Yeah.
keeping the running going. Obviously, we're thinking of like, okay, we'll do this half marathon, we'll do this one. But now I'm like, my brother runs as well, and he does Ironmans. And I love swimming.
Okay.
And I love a line bike. So I just need to practice
love a
on
line
like
bike.
not riding a line bike and riding an actual bike.
Yes.
But I'm like, okay, I've done a marathon, not yet, but you know, in a month's time or whatever. Like that could be the next challenge.
100%.
And
Great
it's just
challenge.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
I feel like I'd have to start with a half Ironman first.
Definitely.
I have done a half Ironman.
How did you find it?
It was, do you know something? And I'm probably going to really upset a lot of people when I say this. And for the record, I am a back of the pack athlete. I am not a super athlete. I actually found
Putting
it
yourself down a
pretty.
bit
I
then.
found it. Well, I'm just very average. It was really fine, and actually, I found it easier, way easier than running a marathon.
Really?
Way easier because the emphasis isn't so much. Well, it wasn't for me. It wasn't so much on speed. It
Yeah.
was just about
Completing
keeping
it.
going. And if you can nail the food, if
Yeah.
you could, that is actually that's the core of it. If you can do all the distances individually,
Yeah.
you can definitely do them all together. Particularly if you can run a half marathon, if you're fueling properly. So I had a cheese sandwich on the bike, and it was like rocket fuel. Honestly, brilliant.
Wow.
So I actually think that I don't know. I mean, I ran the half marathon leg slower than I would run a half marathon
Yeah.
if I was just racing off the back. But I think
Which did you do first?
swim. So you swim first.
Okay.
Swim,
Yeah.
bike, run.
Swim,
Right.
bike, run. Yeah, swim, bike, run. So it's actually, I actually really enjoy it. And I think
Yeah.
there's less pressure on feeling like you need to perform because you're doing 3 disciplines.
Exactly.
And like, no, it's a bit like ultra running or even trail running. Nobody asks you how quickly you did
No.
it because you just did a
It's just
triathlon.
the fact you've done it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
It's the amount of
Absolutely.
time it takes that's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I don't think like I can do anything for that long.
No. But I think it's
so
the same-
impressive.
I think the thing with Ironman or the Iron Distance, because that's I guess a brand, is that the cutoff times are really severe. So I think if you do the training and if you're, you know, if you're fit and capable and, you know, whatever person you've put in the work, you should in theory be able to do all 3 distances. It's just that the cutoff times are really unforgiving.
Yeah.
So actually it can be really exclusive, and it's not that inclusive,
No.
particularly for women or people who are sort of weaker cyclists, because the cutoff times really catered to people who are faster on the bike.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can go off on one about triathlon, but I'm so pro triathlon.
Wow.
If you could do a half one.
See, I love swimming. Like, even I did like 20 miles yesterday. I went for a swim. I did a half-hour swim after
Yeah.
it. And I know you obviously have to do more than that, but it's like, I feel like it's like a different, I can swim no matter what. Like, swimming is like my like go-to. Like, if I'm like, oh, I'm so tired today, it's like, I'll go for a swim.
Go for a swim.
You know?
That's amazing.
And
Have
it's
you,
like-
have you been swimming a lot longer than you've
Yeah,
been running?
yeah,
Okay,
I've been swimming all my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I'll always find the energy for a swim.
Okay.
But it's like thinking like, hey, I need to like actually, and it's not swimming in a pool as well, is it? It's like open water swimming. And so it's like working out.
But then again,
all
that also takes a certain amount of time pressure off of it, because if you're someone who's lane swimming, you kind of get accustomed to how quickly you're swimming. But if you're open water, it's a completely different experience. And actually, I
Totally.
really enjoy open water swimming. But the amount of people I've been really surprised to get into triathlon who are not confident swimmers, who are not strong swimmers, and actually a lot of people actually haven't even ever learned to swim properly. So if you're someone who can go in with a relative amount of confidence with swimming, you're already leagues and miles ahead above everybody else. Truly, I mean, I signed up to do a triathlon in the first instance because I never thought I could run further than 5k. I thought when I ran 5k, I thought, oh my goodness, I run 5k. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm never going to be able to run further than that. So I thought, well, I need to do something that sounds impressive and that I can brag about on social media. So maybe I'll do a triathlon because I don't have to run any more than 5k in triathlon.
Wow.
And actually, I found it really, really served my running. I found that swimming was great for recovery. It was really good cardio.
That's
the
what I
bike
find as
really
well. Like,
helped with the running as well.
I think swimming is what saves me from like feeling sore. Like,
Yeah,
the next
I was
day
gonna say
after
really good
running.
recovery, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I swear it saves me every single
Yeah.
time. Because I'll be
I'm-
like, I feel absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I'm jealous that you enjoy swimming because there's
you
nothing
not?
worse. No, I find it so boring.
Do you cycle?
I don't cycle, but like I enjoy cycling. I just don't, because I run so much. much. It's like I literally have no more energy to give.
Sure.
And running's just so much. There's like some runs I'm like, oh, I could replace it with a cycle.
Yeah.
But it's so much easier to just get out the door and do a run, because like the equivalent in cycling takes so much longer. Like you need to
Go so much further.
Yeah, exactly. So no.
Not as much.
I'd maybe be
Triathlon's
open
for
to
you.
a duathlon where it's like run, bike,
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
But I just do not see myself doing a triathlon.
Wow.
But I have so much respect for people who do. And like the fact
Yeah.
you want to do an Ironman, I cannot imagine having swam, whatever it is, cycle for like 6 hours and then doing a marathon
and
at
then
the
doing
end.
a marathon.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Insane.
oh my God.
My brother did it, and I was like, that is insane. Like, oh my God, so much
He
respect.
did a full one.
Yeah.
He did a full distance.
Full.
Which one did he do?
Not a clue. But he still did it, and I was like,
tough one.
that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? Can I just say one thing I would never do? A tough mudder. There is not enough money in this world.
Really?
Oh my God, I don't want to get muddy.
I don't even really know
I
what
don't want to
they
get
are.
electrocuted.
Yeah, it's the
Absolute-
electrocution.
No.
Electrocution.
Well, it's like an
Yeah.
obstacle course. So you like, it's bits where you're like, going under
Crawling
the net
through
in
the
the
mud and, like-
and then there's like a bit where like if you touch it, you get electrocuted. That's the bit that I'm like, surely this isn't safe.
I don't want to do that.
Gosh, definitely not.
They have that thing where you like you're crawling under. It's like in Spice World. This is the campus reference. Do you know in Spice World when they go
I
to
know
like
exactly
the
what
military
you're
camp
talking
and it's
about.
like all
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but like that, but with like electric like wires that can like zap you.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's-
I'm all right with. I'm without. Like,
You
I'm
want the
fine.
nice race photos as well, don't
Exactly.
you? You want one with a nice ponytail that's sort of swishing in the wind.
Not
or like,
like covered in mud,
Also,
like
yeah.
crying.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm just thinking about that. For your marathon, these photos are going to be fantastic.
Oh, I know. God, they're gonna be stunning.
You need like a before and after.
I know.
as
that's
well.
what I'm thinking. I'm like,
full
I'm gonna take like a
glam.
full like before shoot,
and
then
then like
after
what's
it'll be like
melted off your face. Honestly, like
be
how does
so
it stay on
funny.
with the sweat? You must be used to it, I guess.
I feel like I'm used to it, and also it's like using a decent primer, using like working out which products work for you, and like
Yeah.
what type of skin you have, and
Yeah.
like so it's
Yeah.
it's like working out, and also Botox saves everything.
Good
Stops
tip.
you sweating.
Yeah, good tip for all listeners.
Yeah,
Get Botox.
just get Botox.
We need to talk about the money that you're raising for multiple charities.
Yes.
So which charities are you raising money for? What do they mean to you? And how can listeners help out?
So we're raising money for 4 incredible charities. We're raising money for Sahaya House, which is a Liverpool-based charity which helps people with addiction, which the Vivian was a patron of. So it really is amazing to be running London Marathon in Viv's honour. Like it's, oh my God, it just makes it so much more personal for me and Jeremy, and like running for a friend, you know, like, oh my God, it just means the world, and it just hits home so much more. So we're running for them. We're running for Antidote, London Friend, Switchboard, the LGBTQIA plus charity, and Pancreatic Cancer UK, who are the official sponsors of London Marathon this year.
Great.
So 4 amazing charities, and the link is in my bio. I'm posting it everywhere. Just
On Instagram.
on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter.
Because you've also got
everything.
the Fitty Kitty Instagram.
We
haven't
do.
you?
We've got the
And
Fitty Kitty TikTok,
Yeah.
where I post every run we do, like the long runs. We do a video vlog with it alongside it, and yeah, it's so funny.
What great causes.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and that's
That's
the thing as
awesome.
well. It's like I could be having the worst day, and it's like, oh my God, got to do a run, and then it's like I'm raising money for like 4 incredible charities, and like it just like, oh my God, it hits home so much.
Is that a real
more.
motivator as
Yeah,
well?
it really
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I
And
love
you're just
that.
there like, oh my God, like it just makes it like, not that it's not worthwhile before, but it just like, you just think like, oh wow, like
It's more than just you. It's
that's
about
it.
other
It's
people.
bigger than
Yeah.
just me running
Yeah,
a marathon,
of course.
which makes it just incredible.
Yeah, and then when it gets hard during the
Yeah.
marathon, because inevitably, no matter who you are, there's going to be a hard patch. You can just go back and think about
like,
why
we're
you're doing
this?
it. Yeah, I think that's.
100%.
Oh, I love that. Well, we'll definitely put the links in the show notes
Thank
as
you so
well, of
much.
course. Now, like, just back to running in general, like, given it's still like kind of new for you,
Yeah.
like last couple years or so. Wait, how long has it actually been since you've been?
April last year.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So like,
London Marathon last year.
not okay, fine. How do you feel like the running community has like welcomed you in as a drag queen, and vice versa? Like, how's the drag community sort of accepted you being a runner as well?
Do you know what? It's so funny. Like it's one of those things where it's like running. You just like, oh my God. I feel like as a community of runners, it's so like welcoming. And like the amount of times that like I'll be like, I'm going for a run, and like people at first they'd be like, oh, I don't want to go run. Like it is one of these things where it's like it's infectious. Like my friends were like at first were like, I don't want to go for a run with with you. And then it's like, I'll go. Like, let me know if you want to go for a run. And it's like, oh my God, you build like a community. And like, I feel like the more you talk about it, the more people are like, well, I run as well. Like, we should go for a run. And like, now I've got friends that it's like, okay, we could go for a coffee or we could go for a run. And it's like, oh my God, I love it. Like, so fun. It's like 2 birds, 1 stone. And then like, because I talk the whole way around it, it's like, oh, the dream, you know, so fun. And then I think it's funny, like I've had it before when like, if we've got like a half marathon on the Sunday and it's like, I'm working the Saturday night, I'll be working until like 4 a.m. in like full drag. And then it's like, I've got to sleep for 2 hours and then do a half marathon. And it's like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? But it's like again, it's like thinking of like why you started running in the first place is like, that's what gets you through every time.
Do you feel, because obviously, I mean, we were speaking just before we started about how you've really slowed down on drinking, or you're just not drinking at all, you know, you've really got into fitness. Have you found that people around you have been really supportive of that, or has it been a difficult adjustment for them, sort of coming to know you in a slightly different way? I think like as a runner,
yes to both. Like it's been, I think like being a drag queen, your job is literally there to encourage people to drink. Like you're there to encourage people to go to the bar and like get a drink, we're going to carry on the show, you know. And it's like have a cheers with the audience, and like taking that away and realizing I can still do my job to like the best of my ability without being drunk. And if anything, I'm going to be better at my job because I'm not 3 sheets to the wind, you know. Like
when you were performing before, are you drinking as well?
Before I was,
Okay, interesting.
and like I think it got to a point where, not that I ever think I had a problem with like drinking, like I stopped drinking because I was on my fitness journey, and it was like, oh, I didn't realize like how many calories are in alcohol, and like if I stop drinking, then I'm not gonna order McDonald's or like junk food at 3 a.m. and then wonder the next day like, oh, I don't feel like exercising today, I don't want to do this. And also I'm so over dramatic. Don't think you could tell, but like if I was hungover, I would be like dead in the bed for like 2 days. I'd be like, oh my God, it's like
no
woe
productivity.
is me. And then like now that I've cut that, I'm like, oh, I can do anything, you know.
So you just feel better overall.
Like so much better overall. And I when I stopped, I remember thinking like, I'm gonna find this really tough, and like if I do start drinking again, then like it's not the end of the world. And like I remember I stopped and I was like, this is actually fine. I think it's like you do things like your first night out like not drinking, and I remember thinking like, okay, this is gonna be horrible, like I'm going to 2 brewers and not drinking, like I'm gonna be the only person there like not pissed, and realizing like, oh, it's actually fine. And like to be fair, I think I'm more fun on a night out now than I was when I was drunk, because when I would get drunk, I would have a face like thunder. I'd be like and like be like in my head, and then now I'm like, I just have a great time. It's like, oh my God. The only thing is though, now like I'll go on a night out, I'll drink, I'll be like, I'll just have a water, I'll have a bottle of water. I'm running to the toilet every 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm so hydrated. I'm like, oh my God,
showing off, like,
literally,
sorry, I'm
like,
so
sorry guys.
And you feel that people around you have kind of embraced that change. It's a difficult adjustment. I mean, I've got the most wonderful friends that surround me, but I know that when I started getting into running a couple of years ago, they were sort of like, oh gosh, who's this girl? You know, like she used to come out, have like a couple of glasses of wine, and now she's saying that she's getting up first thing in the morning to go running. And it was just a strange thing to navigate, kind of growing into a slightly new identity. But you feel that people around you have been sort of encouraging and supportive, and But
again, same, like I like before I would be like, we'll order a takeaway and we'll have like a night and we'll have a couple of bottles of wine and whatever. And like now if I go to my friend's house, it's like, I've bought some cucumber and I've got a couple of peppers and some hummus, and we can just dip those. We don't need crisps, we don't need the carbs. It's fine. But actually now it's like, oh, we need the carbs.
I was gonna say,
I'm like, we need the carbs now. But like having like a good friendship group, I think is so important. Like around you, like to like allow you to not feel weird about not drinking and like not making a thing of it. You know, it's like
100%. Yeah, you know they're like your true friends when you don't worry about that. Because I remember I used to be like, oh God, I feel a bit self-conscious that I'm quite boring. Like, that I'm like, I can't do. But then it's like, no, my friends don't care about those things.
Exactly.
Like,
and if they're your friends, they're your friends, regardless of if you've had a drink or not.
Even if they're 100%. Not runners, like they understand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, so on the topic of carbs, I'm so interested. What's your fueling look like during? Are you taking gels like during the marathon?
Gels, yeah. So on the marathon, I think we've worked out we're going to do gels every 4 miles. So it's like 6 gels in total. Oh my God, I did not like them when I started. Now I've got to a point where I'm like, okay, I like the gels. Like I look forward to them now. At first I was like, hate this.
Do you
you know what I can't stand
it's like
though?
a treat.
Like the ripping it off with your teeth.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I hate it.
I use the Science and Sport ones, the SIS ones that you can get straight in boots, because I just always am suddenly, you get through so many, I suddenly am like, oh my goodness, I've actually not got any and I have to go quickly grab some. But they're a little bit too wide. So if you put it all in your mouth, the amount of times I've cut the corners of my mouth from the sort of the sharp sort of plasticky, metally, it's not good. I don't like it.
No.
What gels do you use?
We use the SIS ones. We use a High Five one.
Oh yeah, they're great.
We use those like quite early on, and then at the beginning we use a really, really thick one. We did one yesterday and it was like salted caramel flavour, and like this was before we started running, and I was like, oh, I love this. This is just like having like a sticky toffee pudding.
I think they're the good
Yeah,
ones,
really,
aren't
really
they?
really good. And so like, and then we always finish with the SIS ones. Those are always like the more watery ones.
Yeah, they
to
are.
Finish.
Yeah, you don't have to take them with, because some of them are so sticky that you actually need a drink
like
with
a
them.
Lucozade
Yeah,
to like get it down.
But I think you're so right. Like the fact that you didn't like them before and now you actually look forward to them. It's like, that's why you have to like train with them rather than for the first time in the race. Like, let's take some gels, and you're like,
and
I
I've
want to be sick.
I've been trained to run with a Lucozade Sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get those electrolytes in.
Get all the electrolytes in.
No cramping
Which
for you.
again, like at first I was like, I would literally just carry the Lucozade for like the whole run, and Jeremy would be like, you've not drunk any of it. I was like, well, I'm not thirsty. We've only done like a 3-mile run, and it's like, no, but you need it. You need like to get used to replenishing, you know.
They, Lucozade sponsor London Marathon, so you'll get it on the course as well, which is great.
Fantastic times.
Yeah, it's so good that because I think not many people will have actually trained with Lucozade.
Yeah.
They might be training with another brand, and then they're like taking the Lucozade, not knowing if it
yeah.
works for them.
Yeah.
And that's when you can have some accidents.
And don't we know
On
it?
that note, have you got any race day anxieties?
Do you know what? Yes, because I need to go to the toilet so often, like for a wee.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, please.
Wet yourself.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, do you just wet yourself?
That's what the
Do you have to
pros
like Paula Radcliffe yourself?
Yeah. I've never had to in a race, because to be honest, I feel like in a race, it's never the same as a training run, because you are just more dehydrated. I think from like the nerves and everything, you're just like clearly like zapping up water here, there and everywhere. Like, so I've actually never needed to, but if I did, I would just try and go whilst running.
Wow.
I think there's no shame, is there?
No.
Like,
This lady came up on my TikTok the other day, and she was running, I think she was Australian. She was running a marathon, and clearly how much like the algorithm's like, oh, just send like marathon videos through to the For You page. But this lady was running, and she was like, don't film me from behind, don't film me from behind. They were like, oh, why not? And she was like, I've just proved myself.
Yeah. That was it was a triathlete. Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
loved her. I was like,
good
respect.
going,
Yeah.
good going, girl.
I was actually doing, it was the 20 miler that both you and I were doing.
Yeah.
And I was running alongside this guy. I was chatting to him actually because he'd been passed a cup of water, and it's just impossible to drink from cups of water. And he he did this really cool technique where you like squish it and then you just drink it really, really quickly. So I said to him, wow, that was, you did that really, really well. And so we struck up a conversation. We were running along the riverside, and I suddenly thought, oh my gosh, I need to go to the loo. But it was perfect because he was someone that just loved talking about himself. So I would just ask him a question, and then he'd talk for like 10 minutes. And it got to a point where I was like, I'm just not going to make it. And so I made up some weird excuse about me suddenly having to pick up to race pace. So I then just did the fastest kilometre ever. Mid-race, managed to make it to the toilet.
Wow.
Well done.
It was so stressful. But I was wearing these light blue shorts, and I remember thinking, if I run ahead of him, I don't know what is going to be there. I just was in such a bad way. And thankfully, I'm hoping that I was so blisteringly fast that there was nothing there, but also there was nothing there. But it was a shocking and very frightening moment.
Yeah.
But you can't, it's just one of those things with running. It's actually very liberating.
Yeah.
I would never speak about this sort of thing normally.
No.
I wouldn't really speak about it to my friends or my family, but with running, you just have to.
Yeah,
because it's just bodies and it's normal.
Also, I feel like it's one of I've seen it on TikTok. People saying like when you're running, it's like your body like it stops like you stop needing to go to the bathroom because your body's so focused on like running that you stop thinking about it, and so it slows down like the production of that and like everything else, that it just literally focuses on the running. Here's me trying to sound like a scientist when I'm literally like, I saw it on TikTok, but like it's like stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it's like
it's like the blood is going to your muscles rather than like the
internal organs. It's like we don't need these right now. But by the end of it, oh my God, every time I'm like, oh, I need a toilet, I'm gonna wait.
Just try not to worry about it. I'm
Yeah.
sure
And there were loads of loos on the course.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
are loads of loos on the course, and if it happens, it doesn't matter.
No, exactly.
It just doesn't matter.
I have seen some sights at London Marathon,
Have
I
you?
will tell you. Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and also with people chafing, like they've clearly not put on like any Vaseline or
Yeah.
anything. Blood running down their legs, like from their inner thighs.
Blood from the
like,
nipples.
Not from their inner thigh.
it
Like
does-
it's like a male period. Like
Yeah.
honestly, it's like
Blood everywhere.
everywhere.
God.
But yeah,
nipple
nipples
thing
as
is
well.
bad,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Never
This is
had
what I found as well. Like, 'cause so in the winter I've been running with like leggings.
Yeah.
Like the running ones.
Yeah.
They stop the chafe like
Yeah.
completely. I'm literally like, I want to find like leggings that I can wear like in the summer or like for the marathon that are not going to be like full length like
Yeah.
to my ankles. That like because oh my god, like game changer. Like no chafing at
Can't
all.
you just wear like lycra shorts?
That's what I
and
think I'm
then
gonna do.
even if you want to wear like baggy ones over
over the
that.
top?
Yeah.
That's what I think I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So good.
I
So
really
good.
recommend the Sweaty Betty power shorts.
Oh yeah.
And they're not running specific shorts. And I have been through my fair share of, that is a tongue twister, fair share of shorts. But the Sweaty Betty power shorts are just fantastic. They are the perfect amount of stretchy, but soft, but also not see-through. And there's a pocket for your phone. And I thought I was the only person who knew about them. And then there was a sort of question that came up in a girls group chat that I'm a part of. And someone said, what shorts do you recommend? And everyone was like, the Sweaty Betty power shorts.
Wow.
They are so, so good. I cannot recommend them enough.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna look them
Yeah,
up.
and they're just the right length so that they're still like kind of flattering.
Yeah.
but long enough that you're not getting the chafing
The
between the
chafe.
thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really recommend.
Wow. I was away with a gig the other week in Portugal and it was on a Saturday night and then like I was like Sunday I've got to do 6 miles and I was like oh it's fine I'm going to run in Lisbon and like I think it was like end of January start of February thinking like oh it's going to be fine it'll be like cold-ish whatever. It was so hot. Oh my god I was not used to it at all and like in my head I was like Lisbon it's on the sea so it's going to be like really nice and flat. So hilly. Oh my god. I was like okay I'm going to run down to the seafront and then run along the seafront because clearly that'll be just downhill and then like flat. And to get to the seafront, I was at a mile inland. It was like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then it was like flat. I remember I ended up doing like 8 miles instead of 6. Show off. By the last mile, I was like, oh my God, the chafe was like
Oh, no.
unreal.
So-
Because
yeah,
I
so
was like not
painful.
used to running in like the heat
Heat, yeah.
compared to like what it is in the UK. And I was like, oh my God, trying to run with like my legs open, being like, I'm going to bleed, I'm going to bleed. And then having to get the plane home like,
The shower afterwards
Literally.
as well is so painful. Yeah, just get that Vaseline
Yeah.
or anything on there that's just gonna
all of it.
lubricate it up.
I've also got to the point where like before the run, like especially before like a long run, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put competes on before. I'm gonna like tape everything, like all my nipples and like the Vaseline,
You
everything.
said all my nipples, like
All
you
my
had-
nipples, all
had
10 of
more
them,
than-
like a cat. Kitty by name, kitty by nature. But like literally like just to cover all my bases because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want anything to like stop me or get in the way of
Yeah.
like completing the race.
I do that like on my heels. I always put Compeed on my heels because I just think I'm going to get a blister.
Yeah.
I'm just so convinced.
And it's like working out like where on your body. Like for me, it's like the arches
Okay.
of the foot.
Yeah,
that
I
I'm
had
always
that,
like
yeah.
put them there.
Oh gosh.
I
mean,
know.
so much to think about.
I know so much.
But it's so exciting. I mean, there's so many positives here, and I'm just so happy, like how much you clearly love running in the space of a year. It's
I
just
know,
crazy.
it's wild. I've really become like, I've so got the bug.
Yeah.
I've so like become like a runner. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God. I do also feel like a complete like what's the word? Like when you're just like, when it's, oh my God, I literally cannot think. Like imposter syndrome.
Imposter
That's what it
syndrome.
is. It's like imposter syndrome when it's like people are talking about running and I'm like, I run as well. And it's like, oh my God, like a year ago I couldn't run a path. And here we are now. I'm like, I'm running a marathon. It's like, this is insane.
But there's
This
space
is-
for everyone. You don't need the
Exactly.
imposter syndrome.
But this is what it proves that it,
Yeah.
like everyone can run.
Yeah.
100%.
You can do it no matter what, and I can promise you'll feel fantastic for it.
Oh God, I cannot wait to cheer you on at London Marathon, and also so excited to see what you do next. If you do a Ironman,
Yeah.
follow your journey.
Oh my God.
The last question that we ask our guests is, what's your high five me moment? So a moment in life, running, career, whatever, that you'd give yourself a big high five.
I think completing my first half marathon, that for me, I was like, I remember like getting to that, and I'm not like an overly emotional person. I'm like quite like, it is what it is. I've run a half marathon. Let's calm down.
Cool. Yeah.
So many people have. But I think like realizing like I can actually do it. And like, again, it was something that was like so out of like the realms of possibility for me as a person, thinking like I could never run. I can't run, to like getting to the point where like, oh my God, I've run a half marathon, which now looking back, I'm like, yeah, piece of piss, easy. But like at the time I was like, I'm so proud of myself and like getting to that point. And like, we did it for Not a Phase, which is another amazing charity which helps like trans adults in the UK. And like thinking like, oh my God, we just made so much money. And like, I've just done this. And like, it's like a sense of achievement that it's like, oh my God, like high five moment.
That is a huge high five moment. And I actually, I know you said piece of piss for a half marathon, but it's still hard. Like,
Exactly.
It's still a long way.
Yeah.
Like there's some days, like, well, I'm sure even now you're like, oh gosh.
Do you know what it is now though?
just
It's
a
like
drag.
the short runs now, I'm like, they become harder than the longer runs. I'm like, how is that a thing? Like the 3 mile runs, I'll be like, oh, this is a slog today. This is hard. And it's like, I did 20 miles the other day. Like,
Yes.
It's
let's
all
put
relative.
things
I think
into
because your mind's,
perspective.
yeah, exactly. Like your mindset shifts a little bit where 20 miles, you know you're out for a really long time.
Yeah.
So like the first 10 miles flies by because you're like,
Flies by.
first half. But
Yeah.
when it's a 3 mile run, you're 1 mile in, you're like, oh, 2 to go.
Literally, you're just there like, how much longer is this going to take?
I totally relate. But yeah, that is a huge high fiving moment. And yeah, so proud of your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
love it, honestly.
so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Kitty.
I love it. Thank you.